What's going on, guys? I'm Marty back at again with the weekly Rust Skins videos, and this is just going to be a quick video this week because the Halo Infinite Insider program is currently out. So I've been playing Halo Infinite, so we're just going to quickly blast through all of these. Pretty expensive week this week actually, but we're going to go with a continuation of the Tempered set. Now we have the Tempered road sign with the kilt, vest, and the coffee can helmet. The Tempered coffee can helmet is just called the Tempered helmet, which is a shame that it doesn't have coffee can in its name. It does make it a little bit harder to find on the community market after it leaves the Rust store. So I do think because of that, it's going to be a little bit harder to find, and the demand for it isn't going to be as high because, as I just stated, it's going to be harder to find. Road sign vest is fine though, and so is the kilt, although it says pants instead of kilt, but I don't think that's as much of an issue. Overall though, all $4.80 each. The road sign vests usually aren't a very good investment, and I do think you're definitely going to be able to get this one for a little bit cheaper on the community market with a buy order. That's going to be the same with the coffee can helmet, although the Tempered set is definitely a very successful set and a very popular set as well. So I do think that the Tempered road sign pants are going to be a good investment, even though they are $4.80. You might be able to get them for a little bit cheaper on the community market with the buy order. So if you want to try and do that, then that may be a good way of making a little bit of extra money. But overall, keep in mind as well, the Counter-Strike operation is out, so demand for skins aren't going to be very high off the Rust store, and that also does mean that you will most likely see a lot less people buying from the Rust store this week, so the quantity of the skins will be lower this week when it goes to the community market, and these are all more expensive compared to usual as well, so that is probably going to be a good thing. Overall, I think the kilt is going to be a decent investment, pretty safe, especially long term, and I'm assuming that the Tempered metal will most likely also be made, if it hasn't already, and be released to the Rust store eventually for probably around about the same price of $5 or so. So overall, I do see the road sign pants being a successful investment. As for the vest and the coffee can helmet, I do think that you're going to be able to get them for cheaper on the community market, so I will recommend investing in them off of the community market instead if you want to try and invest in them. Overall, I do think they're too expensive to be picking them up off of the Rust store as investments, so not going to recommend in those two for this week. Moving over to the weapons, we've got the Azul Jackhammer, continuation of the Azul set. It actually looks pretty nice. This is the first time I've actually looked at the Rust store. Besides just the front featured page, and it's got like a bit of wood on it and stuff. It's a little bit different to the usual Azul stuff. $2.75 for this jackhammer. I do think you can already get some jackhammer skins for cheaper, such as probably the Love Injector, which is the pink Valentine's Day one, and also probably the Doodle. I haven't actually checked how the Doodle jackhammer went, but overall for $2.75, I wouldn't recommend investing in the Azul jackhammer for this week. I do think you're going to be able to get it for cheaper on the community market with the buy order, so I'm not going to recommend investing in that one. Comics bow, continuation of the bow set. We've had the AK, Python, MP5, what else? Maybe a crossbow or something, I'm not sure, maybe nothing else. $2.75 for this bow skin, center store price for weapons, and overall I think it actually looks pretty basic. Don't love it, and I don't think it's going to have a very high demand. I don't think this is actually that much of a standout skin, especially in comparison to the guns. I think the guns are definitely a little bit more standout compared to this bow skin. It just doesn't seem to work on this one for some reason, so not going to recommend investing in the Comics bow off of the Rust store. I do think it's too expensive, and currently it is last on the top sellers, but that also does mean that there's not any demand for it. Actually second last, because the pump action isn't on the top sellers page at all. Moving over to the pump action, which isn't on the top sellers page at all, so it is the last on the top sellers, going for $2.75. I actually think this is going to be okay. It's not going to be an amazing investment, but I do think you actually will make money off of it. One, because the pumpies just don't get bought off the Rust store, so the quantity is not going to be very high at all, but it will be a long-term investment because the pumpies don't have a very high demand for skins, just because the pump actions don't get used that much, so keep that in mind as well. But the lightweight set is still continuing and still getting made, and so the set will continue, and people will probably want to buy the lightweight pumpy so that they complete their full lightweight set when it finishes up. So overall, I actually will recommend investing in the lightweight pump shotgun. It's definitely not going to be a short-term investment, but I do think overall it will make you money. So that is what I'm gonna say for that one. Lightweight pump shotgun, I will recommend investing in the Rust store, but you could also try and pick it up with a little bit cheaper with the buy order. Moving over to the Rainbow Pony SAR, going for $2.75. This is a very popular set and very successful set so far, the Rainbow Pony. We've had AKs, we've had full clothing, we've had armor. It's all been there. And overall, I will recommend investing in the Rainbow Pony SAR. I know SAR skins don't have the highest demand, but overall, the Rainbow Pony SAR is a standout skin, standout set, and I do think that it's going to have enough demand for it to go up $2.75. So I will recommend investing in it. It's currently 5th on the top sellers, but I do think that that's a fine spot for it to be at. That's all of the weapons. Now let's move over to the other stuff, and we've got the sleeping bag, bombing sleeping bag, going for $2.05. You can get a bunch of sleeping bags for below $2.05. I do think you're going to be able to get this one for cheaper on the community market. It looks like they made a black set or a white set for the bombing sleeping bag, but obviously the black one has been accepted. Overall, it actually looks really nice. I do like that centerpiece with the gas mask, but for $2.05, I do think you're going to be able to get it for cheaper on the community market. We've had so many crazy sleeping bag skins out these days, and most people are using glowing sleeping bags, so not going to recommend investing in the bombing sleeping bag off of the Rust Item store for this week, and I do think you're going to be able to pick it up for a little bit cheaper on the community market. Moving over to the Outer Planets Garage Door, it is a glowing deployable, so that's most likely why it's more expensive, and that also does increase the value of it, but it is $4.15. So overall, the Outer Planets, it is a set, it's continued, but I don't think it's a very successful set. It hasn't really got that demand, it doesn't have that popularity behind it, so I'm not going to recommend investing in it. No one cares about having a Planets bloody garage door or sheet metal door. It's just like not a very standout thing, and for that reason I'm not going to recommend investing in the Outer Planets garage door for this week. It's just too niche. Some people might think it looks cool, maybe if you're like 3 to 4, but when you get beyond that age, then you kind of get over it. Resources supply container, going for $3.45. It's too expensive for what it is. It's trying to be the competitor of neon boxes, which has now stopped at the moment, but I don't think that this is really hitting it. Some people do like it, so I've seen, but it's not a thing that you can see in the day and the night like the neon is. So at the moment, it's really not like a meta storage / skin box. So overall, resources supply container, it is nice. It's a nice continuation of the set, but I do think you're going to be able to get it for cheaper on the community market with the buy order. So not going to recommend investing in the resources supply container for this week. And if you are going to try and invest in it, make sure you pick it up off of the community market with a buy order instead. That's how you maximize your potential profits. Not going to show you guys my cart this week because I'm not really going to buy anything as of right now. But overall, there is some nice skins, but it's not a very good week for investing. Nice for play skins, but everything's just way too expensive, especially for what it is. So that is where I'm going to leave it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and remember, have a skits one.